From Hart High School, Dillon, Zamperin, and Kaylee Tolentino present the Hart to Hart podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Hart to Hart podcast.
That's right. We're back after 2 full years.
We're super excited to restart it. I'm Dillon Zamperin. I'm a senior here at Hart High School, also the ASB president.
And I'm Kaylee Tolentino. I'm also a senior here at high school and a representative of the Hart TV production crew.
Today we're excited to have our very first guest, our own principal, Mr. Dotremont, to discuss this upcoming year and what we can expect this year. So welcome, Mr. Dotremont.
Thank you, Dillon. Thank you, Kaylee. I'm really excited that this podcast is getting resurrected. This is great.
Yeah. So what are your main goals for this school year?
So I've told our staff, and I think I've told our parents and students now, our main goals for this year are 3 things. Attendance is a goal that we always have. Most recently we've had it to make sure our students are coming to school, because you can't be successful if you don't even come to class or come to class on time. The second goal is to raise not just grades for one class or one subject. We want to raise everyone's grades, the whole student. We want to raise your GPA. So we've looked at our GPAs of our students, our 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, and we have goals for those students and their overall grades to make sure they're getting better grades in every class and every semester. And then finally, our goal this year is to really raise school spirit. We've set the bar to increase how involved students are, how much they're participating, rallies. We have the snack shack, it's brand new, football games, you name it. We want to increase school spirit, and I think so far we've done a great job. We're partnering with ASB, and this is just another aspect of raising that school spirit, getting more people to understand what Hart High School is all about.
Now, going back to that school spirit, what is the most exciting thing that you are looking forward to with the mascot change, with the hawk? What do you see that could really boost school spirit even more?
Yeah, ever since I started teaching here in 2002, so over 20 years ago, we haven't really had a quote-unquote mascot at Hart High School, and so it's always pretty much just Hart. So to finally have a hawk or something that we can promote pride in our student body, for spirit at games. I mean, our student section leaders, our Hart boys at the first football game really brought a lot of spirit. And that's exuded into many other sports and activities we've had on campus. I can't wait to unveil the gym. I know recently we've had a couple volleyball games in there, but our brand new court is going to be unveiled in October. We have brand new scoreboards going in. All of that promoting our new mascot. So it's some stuff that hopefully will, again, provide more school spirit and something that students can really rally behind.
Yeah. So besides going to rallies and football games, what are other ways that students can really get involved in school activities?
ASB put on Club Rush the other day. We had hundreds and hundreds of students out there at brunch signing up for clubs. So if you're not involved in athletics or a performing group, which we have outstanding performing groups here at Hart High School with our marching band, in the fall, in the spring, we have symphonic band. We have theater arts program and drama productions, musicals. We have an award-winning show choir, multiple levels, from the highest to those that have never even sang before, and you can start out singing, to our cheer program and our outstanding dance program, who's won national titles in the past. They're rebuilding, and we've doubled in size, and we have an outstanding dance program that you can see at halftime of basketball or football games, also at rallies. Cheer, by the way, went to Florida last year and really knocked it out of the park. They were 6th overall in the entire nation. It was outstanding. So tremendous performing groups, tremendous athletics. But if you're not a part of those, that's fine. You can be a part of a club. And if you don't want to be a part of a club, get involved in CSF, get involved in NHS. These are things that can go in other honor societies. We have an English honor society, a Spanish honor society. There's so many things that can get you prepared for college moving forward, that really look good on college applications. Or if you're starting a job, really look good on resumes, because that just shows you're part of something. You're part of a team. You want to team build. You want to just do. And that's what we really try to promote here at Hart. Do things, make your 4 years at Hart High School memorable and fun. Yes, there's a lot of learning goes on in class, and sometimes it can get rote, and you're just like, oh, I got to do this homework again. I got to study for this test. Yes, so have the light at the end of the tunnel. By the way, Friday night we have an amazing football game in the student section. Or hey, come to the rally during brunch. There's so many things that students can do to get involved and make these 4 years the best they can.
Yeah, I think the clubs, just having something like that. There's so many great clubs that we have. Just being involved, doing homework, whatever it is, just being there, being in this campus really lets people um, show what they truly like, and they can start a club with ASB. They can join clubs. I know that we have another club rush coming next spring, so just doing that, just being involved is really something that helps make the high school experience something that you will never get again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's always so fun just like meeting new people in every club that you go to. Because like nobody really wants to go to school just for like school. Because that's like, no offense, but that's pretty boring. Because like nobody just wants to go to class. Because like if like even if you leave at lunch, like it's fun to like once a week just stay at lunch and go to a club or like just hang out with friends at a club. And like there's so many like different clubs. Like there's like I know there's an international food club that it's like you just go there, eat, and make new friends. And like it's just so easy and fun to go to.
And Kaylee, I mean, you're talking about food. I mean, we have so many great elective classes as well, like culinary arts. We have auto. We have Hart TV production. We have so many different things: graphic production, art, ceramics. That even to Kaylee's point, like yes, there's math, there's English, there's social studies, there's science. But if you're going home at lunch, or those are your only 4 core classes, get involved in one of those electives. Get involved in a pathway even to promote maybe where you're going for a career. And it's going to make life so much more enjoyable starting now in high school because you're going to find those true passions, those things you love. And it's going to make the time, even though it's going to make it fly by here at Hart, it's going to make it worthwhile.
And you got to fill those elective credits too. So
That is true.
it's just easier to get it done like that. So how can students and parents communicate more effectively with the teachers and staff here at Hart?
Oh man, great question, and something that we really stress to our teachers. We have to partner with parents, with students. The biggest way we've done over the past, we started it last year. We rolled it out as a district. It's something called Parent Square. I hope all of you out there are on Parent Square. I send out invites every so often to make sure you're reminded to sign up to be a part of Parent Square. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's just for parents, students, but it's kind of called Student Square as well, but it's really just Parent Square. So we push out weekly messages to our students and our parents and our staff. We also ask that our teachers communicate on Parent Square quite often, whether it be post or direct messaging. We also have an active Instagram that we're really trying to promote a lot of those activities we talked about on our Instagram. The Facebook is kind of for Hart Parent Organization only, and it's not too active. Maybe we can do a better job in that regard. But you can always reach out and email. You can reach out, email a teacher. You can email the office. You can email me. We're really trying to promote how to communicate more. This is another avenue of how we can do that on this podcast. So check us out on the Apple Podcast store or on Spotify. There's your plug.
Right? Yeah. How do you think students can prepare for the future, both academically and personally, starting now, especially at Hart, where we have so many great chances to take initiative in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will say AP classes, that's going to get you ahead maybe for college. And yes, that will prepare you immensely for the college workload and passing those high stakes exams. But that's not all you can do. I mean, you can start by just being organized, making sure you're staying on top of your homework, making sure that you are, to your last question, communicating. Teachers want to hear from students. If you're struggling, both either academically or, like you said, personally, we have a wellness center. We have library nights where you can go and get help academically. You can talk to your counselor. They are such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to college or career or just passing your classes here. But it goes back to those goals I was talking about at the beginning, and you have to come. You have to come every day. You have to come on time. You have to be excited and show that school spirit, and that then will promote your good grades and get you prepared for your future. We want to set you off on the right path. You don't have to go to college right away. You can get a job. You can start on one of those pathways. And even if it's just community college, that's great too. I'm a product of the community college. There are so many things that you might not be ready for at a four-year university. You can take those baby steps to get there, and there's such tremendous opportunities in anything that you want to do. We're here to support and help you do that.
Yeah, the Canyon's Promise is a great pathway for community college. It's also free, so way better than spending tons of money on spending time at college. But it's an easy pathway. You can also earn money working a job too. So just giving yourself time before you actually attend a university too is really helpful.
Yes, and for seniors and juniors, I don't know what the Canyon Promise is for that's looking into college. It's this thing that College of the Canyon does. That's like you could apply for it, and you get the first 2 years of COC for free through that pathway, which is really, really helpful.
Yeah. So let's talk about the history of the podcast. How long has it been around, and why was it decided to be rebooted after, I think 2 years or so? Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that really excites me as far as the Heart to Heart podcast. A lot of history there in a short amount of time. I mean, it was 5 years ago, almost to the date. I know we're in September now, but in August of 2019, I decided to your point earlier about how do we communicate more? How do we get the word out about Hart High School? We have a rich history, the oldest high school in our valley, kind of the flagship school of the district. I wanted to make sure everyone knew all the history that goes into it. And so we dove into many different avenues. We had special guests from the district office. We had students. We had just a lot of opportunities, alumni that came back and talked about Hart High School. And so 2019, it was just me. I didn't have this awesome setup you guys have here. We didn't have computers. I had a little tape recorder that Mr. Howard helped me out with. And I would give him these recordings, and somehow, some way, I figured out how to upload that onto the Apple Podcasts platform, which took a long time. I had to get these graphics, which I am not a graphic artist, and it did not look as good as it looks now. So I ran with that. We did that for a year. And after a year, and I think, Dillon, this is where you got your start over at Plaza Rita.
Yeah.
You guys had a small podcast as well over there. What was the name of that one?
It was Minor Details.
Minor Details, right. And so there was your predecessor at Minor Details was Aaron Cavedo. I have to give him a lot of credit for where this podcast went, because I passed it off to him after one full year of doing a number of episodes. I mean, I don't know, it was probably like 30 or 40 episodes myself.
Yeah.
Aaron took it on and took the podcast to a whole nother level. Unfortunately for Aaron and the podcast and Hart High School and high school students in general, all students in general, in 2020, obviously, we reverted to distance learning. He still hung in there. He tried it over distance learning. I know, Dillon, I think that's where you started doing it with the online platform with the Minor Details. Mm-hmm. And after that, I mean, we all get busy. Like we say, get involved, right? We say, do this, that, the other. Aaron started getting busy in high school. I get it. Everyone started getting busy in high school. We were also coming back from distance learning. So the podcast kind of lost its luster. We had some very funny episodes during that time. Aaron tried to take it in a little different direction with some of the advice from some other students, and it just never kind of caught on, if you will. Last year, we tried to involve Hart Journalism, which is another outstanding program we have here at Hart. They couldn't really get it off the ground. They had their newspaper to run, obviously. And so now, Dillon, since you and Kaylee approached me this year on bringing it back, I was ecstatic. Something that really kind of is and kind of what Aaron envisioned, and Mr. Howard, an arm of Hart TV, if you will, to get information out to the school, to the community. And that's pretty much where we're at. I mean, I think we can have an amazing, I don't know where we're at total episode-wise, but if you guys can hit that 100 mark this year, that would be a feat. That would be a feat. I think we're in the 60s. I'm not certain exactly. you can check it out, and you can go back and look at all these old podcasts. You can watch and see how it's morphed through the years. Again, on the Apple platform or on Spotify.
Yeah. This year it's also different. We also have cameras, so this will also be on the Hart TV YouTube channel as well.
Wow.
So yeah,
I should have gotten dressed up for this. Sorry about that.
yeah. So one last thing. What is one thing that you want every student to know about our school, and also what is your favorite thing about Hart?
Gosh, I mean, we truly embody our motto here, being alive with pride. When you have pride in something, to some and in some areas of life, if you have too much pride, if you don't want to be boastful, you have to have a little self-control when it comes to that pride. But we exude being alive with pride, and that shows in our academics, that shows with our behaviors on campus, that shows with our behaviors at events, any event that we have, any school event. Our students truly are alive with pride. And so if anyone wants to leave coming away with something here about Hart High School, it's knowing that our student body, our staff, even our parents, our Hart Parent Organization is second to none. We are all alive with pride. We take pride in what we do. Kind of carries over from Placerita. You talk about the minor details and the carryover of the podcast. Placerita's motto is pride and excellence. And now we are alive in pride here at Hart. So if anyone leaves with anything, that's what it would be. And I think you had a follow-up to that, but I'm blanking now.
What's your favorite thing about Hart?
My favorite thing, right? This is a special year for me. I have, for the first time, almost all of my kids coming to Hart as well. My wife graduated from Hart. A little known fact, I think this came out in the podcast a long time ago. My wife's great-grandmother was one of these school board members that started Hart High School back in the 40s. So that's a pretty amazing lineage for me. Not that I was necessarily directly related to her, but a fantastic family lineage that we have here at Hart. So I taught here, I coached football here, I was assistant principal here. They did move me away to the other side of town for a few years in the district, but I was able to come back and be principal here, and it's just been, I'm alive with pride as your principal, knowing that everything we do here at Hart is second to none, is classy, is at a high level. Whether it's academically, whether it's in athletics, whether it's in performing groups, we just take pride in everything we do, and I want everyone to know that, because if you want to come to Hart, this is a place to get involved and to make the most out of your high school experience.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all that we have for today. Thank you, Mr. Dotremont, for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you, guys. I'm so happy that this podcast is getting resurrected again. Awesome.
All right. So make sure to watch the full episode on the Hart TV YouTube channel, or listen to it wherever you find your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. I'm Dillon Zamperin.
And I'm Kaylee Tolentino.
And signing off for the first episode for this year.